Look, I like The Loud House. I think it's a tad overhyped, but it's a good cartoon. Although I will say I'm not too crazy about season 4 and 5, this Netflix movie I can safely say I hate, because it's the epitome of why this franchise, as well as Nickelodeon as a whole, has gone downhill. I mean, just take a look at the story. Lincoln is tired of living in his sister's shadows, so when he gets the opportunity to live in royalty in this distant skies town, he has to learn that his sisters are just as important as himself. All the while, there's this evil guy behind the vacation who wants to destroy our heroes for their own gain. Not only is this a huge ripoff of both the episode Out on a Limo and the movie Hotel Transylvania 3, but it just makes no sense to me. First of all, in the show, Lincoln has always been well respected by everyone in the city, and his sisters all seem to be loving and supportive of him, for the most part. Second, if the Sky's heritage is such a big deal here, then why the hell hasn't there been a mention of it in Season 5, which is supposed to take place after the events of this movie? And I thought the Fast and Furious timeline was screwed. And you know the kind of animation that would look good in an animated cartoon but crap in a cinematic outing? And I don't care if you throw in these 360 shots and CG that would look groundbreaking in 1991, it still looks cheap for a theatrical film. At least Invader Zim knew to outdate his visual style when making that 2019 movie. By the way, I gotta ask, why are most of these sisters in this movie? I mean it, outside of Lucy and Lily, if you cut Lincoln's siblings out, this story would be no different. I'd say that they're just here for fan service if Bobby was in this movie for no reason and the scenes don't even add up to a minute.
What are you doing here?
A very brief cameo.
Me too.
Plus, if The Loud House is supposed to be this grounded family sitcom with the occasional technical achievement from Lisa, then what's with this movie suddenly throwing in these fantasy elements like ancestral ghosts, dragons, and tacky musical numbers straight out of a diet Disney movie? At least the songs in the cartoon are mostly diegetic and take place within the actual world, and not just there to interrupt the story every 10 minutes or so. You see how low this series has gone now? It's come to a point where if it weren't for the opening scene and a brief gag every 10 to 20 minutes in the spirit of the show, The Loud House has pretty much become unrecognizable. At first I thought Schooled was the worst episode so far, but I think this movie might have topped it. This is the worst this show has gotten, and I'm gonna give this movie a 3 out of 10. You know, what's happened to Nickelodeon nowadays? Once it was this nostalgic, humble company that wanted to be a smart and funny entertainer first and a business second, now they've become a business first and a smart and funny entertainer fifth. I mean, they melt Fairly Odd Parents until they died in slow and painful death even before Butch Hartman went insane. They're continuing to milk SpongeBob with this plethora of spin-offs, and now they're turning this simple slice-of-life family sitcom into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. And at this point, I just want Nickelodeon to either get their head back in the gear or just expire.
Now self-destruct.